Hi, thank you for calling. It's a creator's world. We're just living in it. Press 10,000.
I'm Nick Benson, founder and CEO of Atelier, a product platform for creators.
And I'm Rowi Singh, beauty creative. We're here to spill the tea on the creator economy and deep dive into the next evolution of the creator life cycle. Would you rather always have the feeling of someone like breathing down your neck, or have like constant chills, like so ghost themed? So like someone's
Okay, just general ghost chain.
like breathing down your neck, or you're constantly in chills, like you've
Could the
like
breathing down your neck
hands.
ever be comforting?
That's up to you.
Because
is neck breathing comforting to you?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, I guess, like, you know, you're like snuggling. Like, can you hear it as well?
Yes. That's
It's not very comforting.
That's the extra detail. I think I would rather. It could be comforting, actually.
Yeah, because like if you've
Like
had
a
it for
little
10
heater.
years,
Yeah.
and nothing's happened to you, then it's almost like you've got a friend with you all the time. Whereas the chill thing, it's like, this is uncomfortable.
I think chills is uncomfortable because I think you would get like clammy hands. You would get the whole full body experience. But this is just a neck
I
experience.
don't want that.
Let's
Yeah.
do the breathing one. I choose that one.
Yeah,
It's still actually that's fucked. I can't say.
You want the chills?
Yeah, I probably choose the chills. I can't deal with people like coming up to the back of my neck or like coming up behind me, or like it's just weird. I had a friend in high school who used to just do this, and I was like, maybe that's where
Maybe,
my
yeah.
fear. I just have PTSD from that. It's that, and also like
You've never had PTSD before, have you?
no.
It's like when someone says like, when someone's like, oh, this sandwich is better than crack. It's like, you've never had crack.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the breathing.
I'll take the chills.
The
just
warm,
because-
breathy breath.
The warm, breathy breath. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's coffee breath as well.
Because I'll be like,
And you can smell
well,
it.
can you smell it? No,
Yeah.
let's say, are you...
No, I'm making up the rules as
yeah,
we go.
yeah,
I'm just making
because
this
like,
up.
you might be like in bed and you'd be like, oh, I'm a bit lonely. And then it's like, oh, my ghostly friend is with me,
Oh my God.
you know?
Jesus.
Whereas like you've got the chills. Like how can you sleep
it's a
with the
hard no.
chills? Because you'll be like sweaty and clammy and like...
That's the whole point. It's terrible either way, Nick. Just got to pick one.
I
I'm
think
gonna
you
pick
could learn
chills.
to love the breath.
Learn
and
to
it-
love. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Stunning.
Yeah.
I think you could probably figure out a way to deal with chills. Like, okay.
Have you ever had a ghost experience?
I've had this experience, but I think it was my mind playing tricks, but let's call it a ghost experience.
Mm.
When I used to live in Singapore, the window in the bathroom was in the shower, and we're on the 16th floor, and it didn't have like a shutter. It was just like a window. So if you're showering at night and you turn and stare into the window, it's just darkness. It's kind of spooky. It's
Yeah.
it's freaky, and you're in the shower. Like that's the part where you don't want any paranormal experience
Right.
because you're vulnerable as fuck.
Right.
And I would I had this moment where I think I just felt spooked, like an automatic spook. And I turned to look stupidly into the abyss of the black window, and I saw like a figure in like a red figure that appeared to be like blood. And I think that was just my mind playing tricks and really
How
freaking
old
me
were
the
you?
fuck out. I think I would have been like 10. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck was that? But that freaked me out. I don't know if that's a ghost experience or just my mind playing tricks on me and then like escalating it in my head and making it something that it's
I mean, I
not.
guess you'll never know. And I guess probably at some point you just need to choose which one to believe, right?
I believe in spirits. I think so.
Do you believe in the spirits of animals as well then? I find this
You'd
an
have
interesting
to.
one with
That's a
ghosts,
good
right? Is
question.
that like people think that there's like human ghosts,
Yeah.
but then not like puppy ghosts and chicken ghosts. And imagine all the chicken ghosts because like a lot of chickens die every day.
Oh.
Like ghosts of all
Oh my
all
God.
soulful creatures, you know?
Oh God, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I do. Yeah.
You'd have to. I think
You'd
you
have
have to.
to. You'd
If you
have
go
to. You
humans
can't,
have go. It's
very egotistical.
Oh my.
Like, ugh. It's like this very egotistical
Yeah.
of a human being to be like,
Yes.
no,
I'm
only
the
my
only ghost. Yeah.
Well, I also think it's egotistical of humans to think that we are the only life force in the universe. I think it's very like, oh, it's just us. It's just us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just us.
Some weak shit.
It can't. Yeah, I know. Weak shit? Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, great.
Stunning.
You want to talk about the future?
Yeah.
So, future of creator economy. That's a good one.
Where is it headed? Like, where are we going? It's a good.
By the way, let's just like, it's like this is our last episode.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's some like fun things to talk about later as well. For you at home.
Did you just break the fourth wall?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're just taking everything that we've spoken about and packaging it up and seeing like what to make of that. I think it's really interesting for me, for us to have this, for us to talk about it and for me to reflect and be like, okay, it's been therapeutic in a way because this is my livelihood. So I get to unpack it and then do what I will with that information. Where can I take this? So I think I was just speaking to you about how, you know, there is burnout, and at the moment I am having a period where I need to reflect on what I'm doing because my livelihood, my career is tied so closely to my identity. So those things are intertwined. And if I'm feeling a little lackluster, so is my whole brand, my whole jobs. It's very much intertwined. So I've come to a point where I'm like, I'm not feeling the spark anymore. I'm not feeling that like drive. And I'm not in every aspect of my creativity in my career. Like I have, you know, my creativity is still there and that's what drives me. But it's when I have to package that up for a sponsored post and it sort of loses its, you know, the spark, the passion.
Right.
So I've taken the decision to have like 2 months off just to reset.
Creative hiatus.
Pretty much.
Nice.
But you know what? The thing is though, I would love to just go zero, like off the grid completely. Like I would love to do that and not post anything for 2 months straight. But the repercussions of that,
it's Instagram suicide.
it is. And it's just so, what frustrates me is that the platform punishes you for taking time off.
Right.
It's a manipulation game completely.
Yeah.
So I could take 2 months off and do nothing. Then come back and deal with the aftermath of that and have to rebuild myself up, which is more work and it's
How
gonna
long
be
do you think
more
that would
stressful.
take?
I think it wouldn't take that long. It's not like you have to rebuild, but like you have to, you kind of get yourself into a position of like, this is where you kind of get yourself into a strong pattern of like reach and engagement, and you kind of sit within this like level, like, okay, this is the amount of people, like this is the amount of people that are seeing my content, and you do have to kind of work your way up. For example, like story views will halve because you're just not present.
I mean, we've already spoken about this, and this is probably more like something like story views, right? I used to post a story and get 1,500 story views, and now I reckon I get 10% of that.
Same.
And
Same, straight up same, and everyone has said same.
But like, there's just as many eyeballs on stories. So, like, who is getting all those views?
It's just because it's just becoming more and more saturated, and the share, like, where we have to share our content with other content creators.
I think that's like, it's interesting the taking the break in regards to the future, because like, I guess what you're doing is setting yourself up for the future, like giving yourself
Reset.
a month or so to reset, take stock,
Pretty much.
plan.
And yeah,
I mean, talk to me about the last few months, right? Like, I mean, I think what's probably interesting to people is the lead up to that decision. So, like, what's been happening that has, like, caused you to get to this point? Except for your engagement, Rowi got engaged. Maybe that's a big thing. Maybe that's what's going on.
Maybe that's, I'm like, all right, done. I'm becoming a housewife. I give up. I'm a married woman. So bye. It's just like you catch yourself checking out once and then twice and then a couple of times, and then you've got deliverables and you're a little bit slack on the due dates. You can just catch yourself slipping.
Right.
And when I catch myself slipping, I'm like, okay, this means I'm lacking motivation, because if you're motivated to do it, you're going to be on the beat every single time. Like, you're going to show up, and I'm slipping a little bit. And that slip is an indication of like, I need to evolve or change or rest, or I think rest, maybe not like change, but just give myself a bit of stillness to reset my mind and rejig a couple of things. And, you know, it's an important question, like, what do I want to do? Like, what impact am I creating? And if I feel like that's slipping in any way, I need to stop now. I need to catch it now and sort of, I guess, like, not rebrand, but just kind of I don't know, realign myself in the industry so it's more impactful for myself, for my audience, and for the brands, and for everyone involved.
I think we've kind of spoken about this like S-curve trend of like when you hit that plateau, then it's time to really reinvent yourself in some way, or reinvent something that you're doing. Like, are you thinking about your audience?
Yes, 100%.
In this way, like I guess how much is your audience a part of your decision making for the future?
So, quite a big part of it, because I think the reason why I want to pull back on my sponsored posts and my paid partnerships, which, you know, it's a big decision to make because that is my main income driver at the moment. But I do have other things that I'm working on that are going to help with that. So I think I'm thinking about it from an audience perspective because I feel like I've spread myself really thin across all these brands, and I just want to create value again. Like, I have influence, but I want to build on that influence, and I want people to see, like, to recognize that again.
Yeah.
I mean, there are content creators who don't do any sponsored work, and that's incredible. And they're just happy to be creators. Like, they're just living in their craft and pushing out their own content.
Yeah.
And that's going to have a very different effect on the platform to someone who has an agency and is creating sponsored posts. Like, it's different. Your engagement's going to change.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I have built a relationship with my audience that they know that this is my job, and at the end of the day, I have to make money. So it's not like I have to think about, but they're, you know, I'm lacking authenticity in any way. No, like, I'm only ever going to accept sponsorships that I want to do. There are so many opportunities that come through that I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I think most of them I say no, and there's only a small window where I open myself up to those opportunities. I feel like this could be a good fit. So it's weird. I think it's more in my head. I just want to pull back. I want to pull back so I can focus on my creativity, and I think that's going to help me understand where I want to go in the future. So what ventures I want to move into. Like, I just did jewelry, and I had a little I've got the collection with Mountain and Moon, and that was really exciting for me because I got to learn another side of a business.
Right.
I got to lean on, like, business owners and see how that world works,
Sure.
which is going to help inform my world when I take on that venture. So it's more just I think I just need to pull back on one thing in order for my other projects to flourish a little bit, because I'm spread a little bit thin right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think, like, having a bit of like single-minded focus is really important to achieving, especially if you're thinking about like your own venture. I think single-minded focus is fucking it's the only thing.
Exactly. And it's hard because people, like, life has to keep moving and we need to make money somehow. And it's hard to be able to just be like, I want to focus on this one thing.
It really is.
I mean, going back to what we were talking about in other episodes, it's a risk, but it's a risk that I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
And if I have, you know, I'm in a privileged position to be able to take some time off from my main income stream. I
think, like, I know we've spoken about this, like, kind of privilege thing a lot, like the privilege to do, to get the opportunity to start.
Yeah.
And I think, like, that's fine to acknowledge privilege there. But I think at this point, like, yes, you're in a privileged position to start being a creator. But at this point, I think it's okay to call it earned. You've earned time off. You work hard, man. Like, you know, that was the first thing that I kind of noticed about you when we spoke. Like, I remember I was like, I've tried to work with some creators before and it's been challenging in a few different ways. And then you described your posting schedule to me. And I was just like, this is going to work out. Like, I see, I don't, like, instantly that put all my, like, worries,
structure.
I was just like, okay, like, Rowi knows how to work hard. And so I think you've earned the opportunity
I think you're right.
to take the time and like invest what you've learnt and earned into a venture?
There's that guilt that always plays at the back of my mind. I feel guilty for taking time off. I feel lazy. I feel like I'm procrastinating my like goals by taking time off, but I need it. I think it's going to, help me be more productive in the future. And I'm not taking time off, like essentially, I'm just taking a moment for my mental health, and I'm pulling back on one aspect of my business to let the others flourish. I think that is reasonable. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm going.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like you need to justify it to anyone at all. You know, it's like you can make this choice and feel confident that it's the right choice.
Yeah.
I wonder, is there like you and how strategic are people like your peers, creators, strategic about the future? Like, are you strategic? I know you are to a point, but like, are these conversations that you're having with your peers like, oh, I think that like, X, Y, and Z is happening with, the platforms that we're on, like Instagram, like talking about like, engagement going down.
Yeah.
Are you guys going, well, what are the platforms of the future? Are you guys saying, well, I think this is, the future of monetization within the creator economy. This is, you're talking about things like, NFTs. Are you talking about things like products? Are you talking about, I don't know, like long-term, like maybe moving into more long-term roles like Virgil did with LV?
Yeah.
Are these conversations that you guys, because like, in my world, these are conversations that I'm having with my peers all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah. Like every single day I talk to someone about the future of an industry, the future of their industry, how the nature of work is changing and the nature of technology is impacting on that thing. Yeah.
I feel like there's two mindsets. I think there are people who are just riding it out and seeing where it takes them, which is like one way to do it, because you kind of evolve with the industry instead of sort of having that forethought. And then there are people who are like, okay, I'm sensing a lack of engagement on this platform. We're going to shift platforms. We're going to like create something new, or we're going to like, dabble in it. Like you said, in NFTs, like maybe there's an opportunity there. I think it depends who I speak to, but I think everyone has to be thinking about it. You have to be thinking about where you're moving in this industry, because it moves so fast. And if you don't evolve with it, you'll eventually, I guess, die out.
Yep.
Like you have to keep moving. But I think for some people it's subconscious, and they're just going to keep moving with the ebbs and flows of where the creator economy is going to take us.
So what does it look like in a year?
In a year,
let's play a game.
Yes, all right. Let's play a game. That's a hard question because it changes so quickly.
It's gonna get harder.
Okay.
A year's gonna be the easiest.
Yes,
one.
Yeah. A year, I think that the influencer industry, or like the creator economy, is still growing. It hasn't reached its peak yet. I think like the money that people are pushing into like paid social,
without question,
is just going.
It's early.
We are literally at the very beginning. And I think it feels fatigued because I don't know, maybe it just feels fatigued because I'm in the industry, but people still haven't grasped the power of leaning on a creator or like using an influencer for their brand.
Right.
There is so much power in it, and it could go so far. And we've really only just scraped the surface. So I think I get people all the time being like, "Oh, Instagram's going to die in a second." I think
that's so funny. It's such a funny thing.
It won't die. It'll just keep moving, and it'll have a different demographic, maybe like in the way that Facebook did.
It will mature 100%.
Yeah, and like things are popping up all the time. Like TikTok popped up. It absolutely skyrocketed. And yeah, it's interesting. It'll just keep evolving, but it depends. Yeah, it depends like where
I think it's
like sit.
I think it's like in that conversation of it being quite early to create, I guess, an analogy or draw an analogy. I think we can think about the creator economy or like the influencer space like the technology space, in that like in the 90s, the internet, the graphical internet was created, like what we use now with browser, blah blah blah. And there was this point, I guess, for the next 10 years where there was such a thing as a technology business, and then there were all these other businesses that weren't technology businesses. And then in the, say, like 2005 to 2015, every business became a technology business. You know, there's no such thing as a tech business now.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, every company has some elements of tech that get folded into their normal operations.
Yeah.
And I think now people are just starting to realize that. And like, especially in, say, like the investment world, you know, you're starting to get venture capital firms who are focused on like cities. They go where it was always just like, oh, we're tech investors. Now it's like, okay, we invest in the future of cities, or we invest in the future of manufacturing, or we invest in, you know, the future of energy. And those businesses will inherently be technology businesses, but it's wrong to define them like that.
Yeah.
Because that's every business. And I think right now right now the creator economy, like some businesses and organizations are creator led and have, you know, creators as a part of them. Like they might hire creators, either, you know, do like SponCon or whatever it is, or be founded by creators. But I think in the future, in 10 years, every business will be a creator business, in that like the tools for creating a personal profile online are only going to get more ubiquitous. And actually the native, like the like, you know, the expression digital natives, like we're digital natives, and then obviously like Gen Z is even more so. Like the people who are starting the businesses of the future, like starting them today or will start them in a year, will inherently have profile, and those profiles will lead the direction of those businesses and the way that they're marketed. And so I think that like in a year's time, I think that trend is only going to continue, where there's more creator-led businesses and creators are rising to more positions of power, like creator politicians. Like that will be a thing.
Yeah.
You know, because like you've got profile. You know, like just the nature of it's an exposure thing, right? It's like Rowi Singh for president, you know, and honestly, if you ran
2030 baby,
2030, if you ran for local office, you probably have a pretty good shot of getting a nomination and you know, and getting votes. Who the hell knows if you'd win? But against the next person who has no profile and has to lobby, has to, you know, go and speak to crowds of people, have to campaign. Like you inherently have a platform, you inherently have a voice, you know how to use it.
It's already established.
Yeah.
I think
Trump.
Yeah.
I guess Trump is already one that was.
I was just gonna say.
Like it's already happened.
Yeah.
Like a personality became the president because they had worked their entire life to build that concept of themselves as this. Yeah. My favorite one that's a good signal for this is a friend of mine's brother, like from high school. He's a plumber, and for some reason I have him on LinkedIn, and he is a prolific poster. But
is he a LinkedIn influencer?
Well, I don't know if you'd call him an influencer, but like he
I love that.
Yeah,
actually.
he's
That's
constantly telling stories. Like maybe he does it every second day, but he'll post the journey of the job that he's on to
cool.
LinkedIn publicly. Like, you know, this is what I started with. This is what we found. This is the end job. And I'm like, yeah, this is so smart. Like, because now whoever he connects with on LinkedIn will see his posts, and then they'll need a plumber, and they'll be like, oh, here's a plumber with a public profile, not scared to share. Like, genius.
I think that is the future of the economy, is that it's not just for people who have solely built their platform on social media with their craft. It's for everyone. Like you've got doctors on TikTok who are content creators who are like, here are my 5 top tips for, or like chiropractors. Like this is how you should stretch your back. And everyone is a creator. I think that's going to build, and I think that's going to really help people propel whatever industry they're in. Like, absolutely right. That's going to be, right now it's, you know, it's just starting, but I can imagine everyone having a profile, needing a profile. Absolutely. It could be the resume. Needing the profile. I think it could be the new resume. The 5-year vision of the creator economy, I think, is if you're starting something and you're not a creator, you don't have profile, you are severely disadvantaged.
Yeah. Like, and it's that same thing that I was saying. Like, if Rowi ran for local office compared to, you know, Joe Blow, who is just like, you know, wants to be a politician.
The grunt work has been done. Like, a lot of the grunt work has been done.
And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it as well, that I think that it's so important for probably creators to wrap their heads around now. It's like, you know, you're probably just doing things that you love, which is awesome, and people have responded to it. But the power that you have in the amount of the work that you've done, like every unit of labor, like every ounce of work that you've done isn't been an investment into building this community. And there's so much value stored in that community to leverage to, you know, do whatever you want. You could start a business, you could start a charity, you could start like a not-for-profit. You could start a fucking research institute. Yeah. Whatever you want to start, you already have a ready-made audience who loves you or hates you.
This 100% goes back to why I did this in the first place. I jumped on that like 5-6 years ago, knowing that whatever profile I create, it is going to be an advantage. It's only going to help me. It's only going to propel me forward. Right. So I created this profile on Instagram and started building my content ages ago, kind of knowing that I wanted to have my own business. I think I had that in the back of my mind. I was like, maybe I could have a product of some sort within fashion and beauty, but I don't have any resources to build that. Zero. But what is free is building a social media platform right here, right now, and posting content and seeing where that takes me. That's how it started. Right. And 100%, I now, like, sitting here and I'm going, okay, so where do I want to go next? I have options. I really do have options. And I think I have unconventional options. Like, I could go back into working full time in marketing, but I like for, you know, a startup, like if I wanted to, because I have insight and know-how. I could lead like an influencer and creative division of a company if I wanted to. Right. If I wanted to. I could go down home decor. I could go down like, you know, I could explore the digital makeup space and solely create NFT pieces, and it's all like editorial digital beauty. Like I could do that. So the options are there. It's just about like, okay, taking what I've built, my platform and audience, like a strong community, and pushing that further, I guess, like pushing that forward a little bit, maybe taking it offline. Yeah. I think that's where I see myself moving, and I think that's where other creators should be seeing themselves as well. Like you can be a sole creator, like just stay in this industry, but I think there's so much value in pushing it forward and seeing where this can go and taking a passion one step.
Absolutely right. Yeah. And I think as well that there'll be like those organizations of the future, those creator-led organizations will be the most influential organizations that exist in the world. I'm so sure of it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm so sure of it. Like the next big charity will be a creator-led charity. Yeah. Yeah. Because they have the power to pull money in through their audience, you know. 100%. Yeah, they have the voice to. I mean, it's like it's one thing that used to piss me off when you would watch like, you know, some like UN like climate change thing and Leonardo DiCaprio's talking, and I'm like, this motherfucker doesn't. No, you know, he's, you know, like put a scientist on stage. Like, give me someone who's spent there and dedicated their entire life to this, who understands it inside and out, who's not given a script. Like, you know, it doesn't matter how well read he is, or, you know, it's like that's how I used to be. I used to be like, no, give me the scientist who has written the PhDs, who's been in the field, who's observed it firsthand. And now I'm like, probably the scientist wants the impact, and he has the impact. He's got the audience. Like Leo's got the audience.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's probably the better outcome for the world that Leo's doing it. But like, you know, I think there's an interesting thing that's going to happen, like you were saying with TikTok, like the whole edu TikTok thing where that scientist now has a TikTok profile, and the next person to lead, you know, that like climate change initiative or you know, human rights initiative is going to be a creator who has the knowledge, the know-how, the study and the work, but also has the profile.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like imagine spending like, here's something that every university should do right now. Everything that you are learning is interesting, and as a part of the 3 or 4 years that you're spending to do this degree and have tons of free time, like we all went to uni and fuck, you've got so much free time, like more free time than you'll probably ever have in your life until you retire. You should dedicate yourself to, like, if you want to work in the field that you're studying, create a profile and teach people about it.
Yes.
You'll learn it better.
Yeah.
One, you'll build a network and a profile and an audience, a community around it. Two, and you'll get so many good opportunities at the end of your degree.
Yeah.
And all you'll be doing is like relaying what you're studying.
No, that's 100%. No one will do it. But
No one's gonna
do it. But it's a real no, people are doing it.
Yeah.
But like that's the way that you get. That's the leg up. You have people like doing this incredible degree, a law degree, spending like 4 or 5 years of the time, and then they go to apply for jobs, and it's fucking competitive,
Yes.
and they're not getting a job. But I think there's an edge to having a whole profile that you've built behind you.
Yes.
Because that is, as I said, like it's an extension. It's a resume.
Right.
It's your public profile
Yes.
/ resume. It's all your work and your content on display, neatly packaged up for interviewers to see. Like, I think it's 100% an edge. But going back to just like where this industry is going, like every man is a creator. Every man and woman is a creator, full stop. I don't think you need to like become a creator in any type of way. You are a creator right now because everyone has the tools. Like you have access, like if you have an iPhone, you have access to the tools to become a creator. And so you could do it now, right now. There's no sort of, you need to do this course, you do it straight away. And I think that's the power of like the economy. And I think it's intertwined now. It's not like you're a doctor. It's like you're a doctor and you've got a profile. That's I think where I see it going, and it's just going to build value because there are people in the industry that are like, oh, what
Without
do you do?
question.
You're a creator. Oh, what does that mean?
Yeah. So like,
that'll
yeah.
have way more meaning in like 10 years time. People are
Totally.
like, oh, okay, yeah. More value.
Exactly. But even now, it's like people don't like. I mean, even I didn't realize, right? Like obviously Atelier makes products for brands and creators, like with them, and we have to go through the investment process, like raising capital, and I've got to tell that story or tell a story to investors to get them to say, oh, this could be big, or this is interesting, or whatever. And I have recently been thinking about how to tell that story about the creator economy, and like we've spoken about this a whole bunch, you and I, Rowi, but I went through and made a list of all of the the story I was going to tell or like one of the stories I was telling within that, I guess, pitch process was how big beauty brands are getting fast, because obviously we do a lot of beauty.
Yeah.
And I made a list of all of the beauty brands that have had massive valuations or massive exits, like sold their companies within the last 5 years. And obviously there's like just tons and tons of them, right? All like with $1 billion plus valuations. And then I was like, oh, this is interesting. They all seem to be creator led, you know? And then I went through, and actually even more of them were creator led than I realized. Like I researched all of them.
Right.
And, you know, I'm like, oh, holy shit. Like, fuck, every brand that's blowing up within this space right now and has done for the last, like since Glossier basically, is creator led, you know, and obviously like Emily Weiss is like the poster child of the creator led brand, $1 billion
100%,
company,
yeah.
you know, but it is unbelievable. Like this is already happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like fitness industry, that will be the same thing.
Yep.
Like straight away, the fitness brands of the future, and probably the fitness brands that are going to be worth, you know, $100 million or $1 billion in the next 2-3 years, creator led.
100%.
Sure.
I think that's
the food brands.
Yeah.
Same deal. Yeah.
It's
creator led.
100%.
Yeah. It's so interesting. And you can honestly go through and look at the most viewed, and like the gaming industry is the same deal. It's creator led. Like you go through and look at the categories, the most viewed categories in YouTube. It's like gaming, beauty, food, like fitness and lifestyle. It's like, yeah, all of those creator led, you know?
And it's just going to snowball, and it's only going to build. So you're 100% right. We are at the beginning.
It is early.
The beginning.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to, you know, find myself in this industry and be like, okay, I've kind of been doing this for a while. I've been doing this before it was that much of a thing. Like I think I wouldn't have called myself a creator 3 or 4 years ago, or an influencer. I wouldn't have called this a career at all. And so now I'm at a really interesting position where I've built an audience, and I've got my craft, and I'm like, okay, let's combine those two things and push it further. Like, where can we go? And so I'm thinking like, okay, do I run like creative workshops where it's like an overarching, enjoyable therapeutic experience where you can do your makeup and learn about different products, but also like build your confidence and like dabble in color and like build your personal style and, things like that. Like, this is where my mind is going. I'm like, yeah. Do I do I want to do like a concept store where it's like a whole bunch of things that fit under my brand. So like I could have jewelry and makeup and or home decor and like shoes. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's still within this aesthetic that I have built, that I've spent so much time building over the past couple of years. It'll all fit somehow.
Are you talking about any of the things that you're actually doing yet?
Yeah, couple. Yeah. I think just like revolutionary or like next gen beauty products and makeup made easy, all wrapped into one. And
did you say next gen or next gem?
I said next gen, but I was thinking next gen.
Were you as well?
Yeah, I was gonna say it, and I was like, Are we saying?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying. It's like the second time today that we've like had the same. Yeah.
Next gen beauty.
Next gem.
Can I put that on the packaging?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I really want to.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what. We'll see where it takes us. Like, constant. I think it's just important to just reflect and evolve, and I think that's just going to be my process, and I'm going to keep pushing forward. And I think maybe in 2 or 3 years time or 5 years time, I'm not going to be the creator that I am now. Like, I might have something else that I'm passionate about.
Right,
like a whole,
right. 100% you'll be that.
Yeah.
You'll be a different person.
100%.
But
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like involved. Let's
exactly.
come on.
Actually, I just realized that when this comes out, it'll be probably after they've launched anyway.
Yeah. Which is cool. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm talking about, maybe I could be doing this. Like, maybe I could be doing that. And it's like,
yeah,
it's a thing.
So actually, like, the next gem of Rowi's empire will have already launched by the time people are listening to this.
Hopefully.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah. So
off the back of all of that, I think what we want to do is offer our knowledge and expertise and a helping hand to someone out there who is a creator and has an idea in mind and wants to transform that idea into like real life product, because I think that's the hard part, like moving it from an idea to an actual thing. You need financial backing, and we want to sort of extend a hand and help you with that.
Right.
How, Nick, explain to us how we're doing that. Tell us. Tell us. Explain to us.
Nick, take it away.
Take it away, Nick.
Yeah, so obviously, like, I mean, it's probably been like a little unclear as to exactly what Atelier does, but essentially we are the rails to help creators make and launch beauty, health, and wellness products. And so we will offer our platform, our network, our expertise, and we have a bunch of partners to offer cash money to make products specifically, and then you'll also get Rowi and I to help with the process of brand like conceptualization, product conceptualization. We will also help, I guess, just sample and bring that product to life, and help with the launch. And it's actually pretty exciting. You get like full access to our design team, access to Rowi's mind, which is probably
pick
crazy,
my brain.
And same for me. Like help with the business side of things, the product side of things.
Just a full assist.
Assist. Like, you come with the audience and the concept, and we will help launch one of the dopest beauty, health, and wellness brands that will get launched probably late this year, early next year. Obviously, there'll be tons of like work in between, but that's how long it takes to bring a product to market. But yeah,
if this is of interest,
if you've been thinking about it, or you think it could work,
Just hit up the email.
Yeah, creator@atelier.co.
Yeah.
And you'll get a response from.
Pop it in the show notes anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Show
Yeah.
notes. I always forget about
Yeah.
show notes. Yeah. It'll be everywhere. You'll be able to find it for sure.
And we'll have more information detailing the whole.
Tons more information. Yeah. It's this kind of thing where like since the start of the podcast to now the last episode, Rowie and I guess have been talking about how we can help people, I guess, on this journey.
Yeah. And it's only just become like official.
Yeah. We can do it now. It's so exciting though.
Yeah, I think it's really, really cool. And I think a really rare opportunity to get that helping hand, to get that leg off the ground. I think that's the hardest part when you're trying to start a business and create a product. And that it's a very cloudy space. And to provide that clarity in so many parts of the business, like you said, like design and product and creativity, like that. Yeah, I think it's an absolute gem. And if I had the opportunity, I would jump at it. So yeah, we'll provide all the details and on like what, where you can apply, and we'll sift through and find someone.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Amazing. Brilliant. This has been I think this has been a really beautiful therapeutic experience of me being able to talk through my journey as a creator and then just like useful, helpful insights on the industry and what's happening in it right now. Like, the beautiful parts, the ugly parts, every part in between. I think it's really interesting to understand, especially if you're just coming into it. And I hope this has been helpful. Yeah,
it's been super fun to make it. I learned a lot.
Cool.
Learned a lot about Rowie. Yeah. We've spoken so much now that we think the same words at the same time. Is
that Leo energy, baby?
We always finish each other's
sandwiches. Beautiful. Amazing.
All right. Sweet.
Peace.
I'm out of here.
Bye.
Never have to talk to Rowie again.
And that's it. I'm just like flattening an E.
Blooper clip was pretty good.
Thanks. Oh.
You want to see the blooper clip?
Yeah.
Recording the sounds of my brain. From my brain to you. You don't want to know what's in there. It's a scary place.
Yeah, it sounds really scary to me. I wore green actually today. Like a full green shirt. I was like, whoop. What's this?